listening to the Video Game and Nerd Trivia Podcast with Tony D. Video Game and Nerd Trivia Podcast, your episodic dose of trivia covering all things video games and nerdy. Now, here's your host, Tony D.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Video Game and Nerd Trivia Podcast. On today's episode, it's going to be another Minisode. We're going to be doing it kind of like last time, where I ask you random 10 questions, 9 random trivia questions, and then the 10th question will be, what's the connection? I thought that was fun last time, so hopefully it'll be fun this time. And again, it's just going to be 10 questions today because it is a Minisode instead of a full episode. How it works is I'll ask you a question, give you 5 seconds of silence, and then tell you the answer. Alright, question 1. When you have a muscle injury with limited range of motion, what is the therapy that doctors often send you to in order to stretch and build and strengthen to regain your motion? This would be physical therapy, or PT. Question 2. What is the name of the military science fiction novel by Orson Scott Card that was made into a 2013 sci-fi action film starring Asa Butterfield and Harrison Ford? That would be Ender's Game. Question 3. What's the name of the 2008 crossover fighting game developed by Sora and Game Arts and published by Nintendo on the Wii? That would be Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Question 4. What's the term used to describe the point directly above, below, or at which a nuclear explosion occurs? That is Ground Zero. Question 5. Which CD Projekt Red game was released with tons of glitches and had a character modeled after Keanu Reeves? That would be Cyberpunk 2077. Question 6. What's the name of the documentary about the yearly journey of the birds of Antarctica? That would be March of the Penguins. Question 7. What is the name of the Haribo gummies that have sweet and sour coiled together gummies in the shape of legless reptiles? That would be Twin Snakes. Question 8. Which vampire hunting Konami franchise focuses on the Belmont family in Vampire Hunting Crusades? That is, of course, Castlevania. Question 9. What is the name of the Game Boy Advance game released in 2003, starring a vampire hunter named Django, who uses a weapon called the Gun del Sol, and the tagline of the game was, "The sun is in your hand"? That would be Boktai. And question 10. What's the connection of all of the previous answers? So the previous answers are PT, Ender's Game, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Ground Zero, Cyberpunk 2077, March of the Penguins, Twin Snakes, Castlevania, and Boktai. And the connection is these are all referring to games that Hideo Kojima has worked on. So PT was Playable Trailer, a Silent Hill teaser that he worked on. Ender's Game, he worked on Zone of the Enders. Super Smash Bros. Brawl, he actually designed the Shadow Moses level for this game. Ground Zero, he worked on Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. Cyberpunk 2077, Kojima actually played a character named Oshima. March of the Penguins refers to Penguin Adventure, which he was an assistant director in. It's a video game. Twin Snakes is another subtitle for a Metal Gear Solid game. Castlevania, Kojima worked on Lord of Shadow on PS3 and Xbox 360. And Boktai, The Sun Is in Your Hands, Kojima was actually producer and game designer for it. Alright, hope you enjoyed this short episode. As always, if you like this episode, please rate us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Thank you so much for listening. You can always reach out, vgntpodcast@gmail.com. But until next time, trivia on.